about network security basics recap, because we are into the fifth unit, and I think it is my last lecture about fifth unit. So we are just having a recap about what we have discussed already about network security in today's class. So what is the objective of today's class? So that you will be able to learn the basics of network security in the end of the class. So this is my main objective, or I can say this is the objective of today's lecture, so that you will be able to learn the basics of the cryptography. So let's discuss about what we are supposed to discuss in today's lecture. So is the internet secure? Because we are dealing with network security, various myths and mysteries that we are going to discuss. In addition, what is the evolution of security, security concepts, management, examples, development of IPv6 like Internet Protocol that is having a version number 6, and IoT, the Internet security ecosystem that we are going to discuss today. So these are all the topics that will be covered today. Now the question is the internet secure? As we already know, no, internet is not secure, because nowadays everything is relying on internet, and huge data is getting transmitted between sender and receiver, or I can say whatever the person who is using the internet. um, every person is using the internet, and he is submitting some kind of information, he is inserting some type of data, and in result, or I can say in response to the same, he is receiving various types of queries. In addition, he is getting he is encountering various types of attack, like because so many hackers are there who are stealing the information of that particular person who is going to enter the data. Because every time we are supposed to link with any website, or we are supposed to open any website, there are so many pop-ups that are given to us, so that they can get our information, like you can open this link, you can open this link. If a person is not into the computer science, then he might be opening that link, because this is the that is given to make the person confused, and after opening the same app, he might be directed towards certain type of data that might be asked in that pop-up. So he will be filling that data, and after filling that data, it could be the case of fraud in the end, because he might suffer some types of attack in that way. So that is why I am saying we are dealing with the data nowadays, and the only medium to rely to exchange data is internet. Because in the pandemic, we have already encountered the conclusion that, or we can say we have already concluded that we can work from home, but with the help of internet connection. So with the help of internet connection, if we are using internet connection, so we are only relying on internet for every means, either it is a social gathering, or it is related to academics, or it is related to any organization. So everything is covered under internet. Like if I am taking your lectures, I am taking it online with the help of internet. If I am referring, or I am consulting a doctor, then again I am using the medium of internet. There could be a video call that I am doing, or there could be a appointment that is fixed, so that I can join a particular link that is given to me by doctor. In addition, if we are supposed to talk about social activities, then again we are switched to internet nowadays due to pandemic. So the importance of internet has, I can say, evolved exponentially as the time is there, because everything is relying on internet nowadays. So that is why we want, or we require a secure medium, because everybody is concerned with data, and we are dealing with data nowadays. And how can we assure that the data that we are transmitting, or the data that we are exchanging over the internet, it is secured, it is protected, How can we assure the same, or how can we say this confidently that my data is confidential, it is protected, it is free from any kind of attack, it is not vulnerable? So how can I say the same if there are some security measures behind the same that are getting followed? On that behalf, I could say that my data is secure, the information or the communication that I am doing over the internet, they are quite secure. So same is the question here, is the internet secure? That is the major question. So let's discuss what is there inside the same. The internet was designed for open connectivity, okay, for low barriers to entry in a trusting environment. A deliberately dumb network was there. In addition, security was always optional and normally a low priority. Because I told you in several classes that whenever we are dealing with software development, we give least priority to security because we are dealing with softwares, but we don't give importance to security, how to secure the project that I'm going to develop, how to secure the coding of the project, how to secure the operations of the project, how to secure the software so that it is not openly available to each and everyone who is using the internet. So we are generally ignoring the concepts of security, or I can say these concepts are generally ignored, I can say overlooked. So that is why there is a dire need to deal with this concept, because otherwise I can't say that our communication is secure, our transactions are secure, the data we are transmitting over the network is secure, the information that I am exchanging with any person whom I am coming in contact with, it is secure. So I can't assure that my network is secure all in all. So how to say that? Like, is the internet secure? No, it is not secure, because we generally ignore the security concepts. Like, if there is a link that is given to me and I am supposed to open the same, if there is a requirement of opening the link with HTTP, even warnings are given to me that if you are about to direct it toward this link, then there could be certain malicious changes that could be happening in your system. But like after receiving like warnings, I am intended to open that network because it is my need. I want to open that link because there are certain requirements that are associated with opening that link, because I require quick data, instant response is required by me. So that is why I am instantly opening the link that is not secure. Like, I am adamant about the same. Like, I want to open it. If there is no security, there is no issue. If anybody wants to attack at my system, he or she can, because I am giving the privilege to the same. So that is what I am saying here. Is the internet secure, or the security is always optional? Optional mean to say, so many links are there that are secured, like HTTPS, but I am not opening the same. It might be the case that the information that I am opening with the HTTP could be available with the help of HTTPS, but I am not looking for the alternatives. I am adamant about opening the link with HTTP. So this is where the problem begins. So that is why it is said that security is always optional, or it is given a low priority, because we are dealing with data. We are like it is a rat race, and we are moving toward, or I can say running toward the data, collecting data, inserting data, dealing with data. So that is our main motive. What is the security? What are the underlying measures? We don't care about the same. So is the internet secure? I don't think internet is secure, because if it is secure, then why so many crimes are happening? I mean, cyber attacks. Why we are supposed to deal with web security? Why we are supposed to develop very huge algorithms like 128-bit, 512-bit? Why? Because our data is not secure, internet is not secure. That is why we are supposed to develop algorithms. That is why we are supposed to develop certain type of techniques that are able to secure our data, because if it is confidential data, then there must be some security measures that could be there so that our confidentiality could not be hampered, or I can say it could not be tampered in the process. So next, the real question is, if you ask, is the internet secure? Can the internet be secure? क्या हो सकता है? Can society ever be safe? The truthful answer is no. The truthful answer is no. As I told you earlier, it is no, because we are blindly running towards the data. We are blindly running towards the data. We don't know whatever the concepts of the security are getting followed. We just ignore that, and we just want information, or we just want to extract any kind of information that is available over the internet. Instead of, like, in spite of so many warnings, in spite of so many signals, warning notes, in addition you can add more. So many warnings are given to us, so many links are given to us that you are not supposed to open this. If you open this, then this will happen, either this will happen. But we are not giving a second thought to the same. So that is why my answer is no. But if you ask, can my services, network transactions be secured? Yes, they could be if you are following certain measures. Can the internet be used securely? Yes, because there are so many protocols that are there, and you can use the same and take the full advantage of the same. Can I stay safe? Yes, you can, by following various measures. The answer is probably yes, but with care. What is the care? We are supposed to use the protocols, we are used to deal with the rules, we are used to deal with the precautions. Otherwise, there is no use if we are not dealing with the protocols. Otherwise, the answer is no, already it is here. Otherwise, we are into this section. If we are concerned with the safety, then we are supposed to follow this. Otherwise, we can follow this approach. So this is up to us how we can handle the same. So this is the real question. So next is various myths and mysteries. The fiction one is, internet can be secured. It is just a fiction. Internet can be secured. But the fact is, internet can be used securely. How? If we are able to distinguish between HTTP and HTTPS. This is a layman example, or I can say this is a very basic example that I am giving you on the behalf of internet security. But there are hundreds of other examples that you can follow in order to distinguish the same question, that is fiction and fact. You will be able to know the difference between the two by following rest of the examples. I am just giving you the layman example in order to distinguish between HTTP and HTTPS. Next fiction is, hackers are magicians. How? Every breach can be explained and avoided. Now, hackers are magicians. Why? Because, like, someone stole my data because it was not protected with strong password. Someone was supposed to open, I can say, with the educated guess, and I was not able to do anything. Why? Because it is my mistake. I have not chosen the strong password for the same. So that is why the hacker is able to hack my data. So that is why I am saying that hackers are magician. But why hackers are magician? Why you are making hackers magician? If you already know, if you are dealing with your things digitally and you are supposed to use internet in that case, then you are supposed to, like, if I am creating a Gmail account, then there are certain rules and procedures that are given to me, but I generally ignore the same, and I usually ignore the same and just I accept the terms and policies and move to the next action that is required for me from my side. Why? Because I don't want my data to be secure. It is my problem, and I am giving the chance to the hackers so that they can hack my data, because there are certain rules that are given there, like you can choose strong password, Even on choosing of the strong password, there is a hint that is given to you, like if it is strong, if it is weak, if it is very strong. So everything is given to you. You are just supposed to use your intelligence. If you are not using your intelligence, then it is your problem. Then you will say hackers are magicians. Otherwise, everything can be avoided. So that is the fact. Next is fiction. Security experts are magician. Why security experts are magician? If you are securing your data with each and every protocol by using, if you have you are dealing with the information and data in a very secure by using all the if and buts of the underlying mechanism in which you are operating, then I don't think security experts are magicians. So the first bug was an actual moth. The fact is this. Next is computer viruses are like actual viruses. No, if there is why antivirus softwares are available? Why strong antivirus softwares are available, which and they are paid. Some are free. You can use the trial version, but so many softwares are available. You can buy the same for 3 years, for 4 years, for 1 year, for 6 months. It is up to you. If you want to prevent your data from malicious attack, then you are supposed to buy the same. Because if you can afford a laptop and an internet connection, then you can easily afford the antivirus software as well. So it is our problem. We are into the fiction era. So instead of dealing with the fiction era, we are supposed to move to the factual era. We are supposed to deal with the facts. We are supposed to deal with the facts here. So instead of blaming each and everything that comes our way, we are supposed to tackle the things that comes our way. So this is the fact that we are supposed to deal with when we are dealing with online information. So next is there is some history that is associated with the same. So what is the same? Just have a look at the same. In 1946, Grace Hopper, a US naval officer, tracks down a moth causing problems in an electromechanical computer, hence bug. He was just trying. He was just trying. Next, in 1960s, MIT model train group hacks their trainers to make them perform better. In addition, 1971, Joe Draper, like Captain Crunch, uses cereal toy to generate 2,600 tons fracking at the 80s and T's Lab long distance system. Next is in 1983, War Games film introduces public to the concept of hacking like quad dialing. Quad dialing. Next is 1988, Cornell student Robert Morris releases self-replicating worm on ARPANET, the first internet-born viral program. In addition, late 1990s, online sharing of automated tools, the first botnets, armies of virus-infected machines. So next is there are certain terms that are associated with network security. So the term is breaking it down. We are supposed to break the same if there is a threat. Threat and vulnerability both go hand in hand. What is threat? Like in layman language, it is a like risk. Threat is a risk, any circumstance or factor with the potential to cause harm, a motivated and capable adversary. Vulnerability. Vulnerability is concerned with the weakness that is present in the system, in procedures, design, implementation that can be exploited. Because vulnerability is a thing, like I am using a certain software and there are 10 techniques that are associated with the same. But the one out of two important techniques, I am weak in learning the second technique that could be applied to protect our information. So if the hacker know my weakness, then he will be able to exploit my system. So that is what vulnerability is here. So it is concerned with software bugs, design flaws, operational mistakes. In addition, it is concerned with the human factor, that is social engineering. Next is risk. What is basically risk? Likelihood. Likelihood means ये हो सकता है, हो सकता है into what will be the consequence, what will be the result. So the likelihood means to say probability. हो सकता है 0.1%. If it is the probability, then it is the likelihood that a particular vulnerability will occur. Then the severity, that is impact. The impact that is concerned with a particular problem of that occurrence. Next is authentication and authorization. So what is basically authentication and what is basically authorization? So these are concerned with access control, authentication, authorization. Access control, we have learned, we have deal with the full-fledged chapter that was concerned with access control. It is the ability to permit or deny the use of a resource by a user through three essential services. And we have discussed those services in the full-fledged lecture of the access control. Next is authentication. That is to authenticate something so that it is the valid construct. So to reliably identify individual users, it could be users, people, processes, or devices. Next is authorization. Authorization means to say to control who can use my information, which users are allowed to do, and with what a particular resource. It could represent trust, assume reliable authentication. So these are the three terms that are very crucial to software, I mean network security. First one is access control, authentication, and authorization. Next is security trade-off. What is basically security trade-off? What is security trade-off? So if we are talking about security trade-off, it could offer services versus services that are provided. Services that are already there. In addition, there are services that could be offered by taking huge amount of money or taking few amount, like it could cost you a few rupees. So each service offer its own security risk. Some things like I'm giving you the example of HTTP and HTTPS, that is free of cost. But only we have to pay for the internet connection, that is free of cost. If you want to avail some premium services, then you are supposed to pay for the same. So the more the services, the less the security. Next is ease of use versus security. Every security mechanism causes inconvenience. The more plug and play, the less security. Next, why plug and play is posing security problems? Because whenever there is a power failure, if you are responding, working on some system and there is a power failure, then you can't do anything. In that case, if you are dealing with security measures, so that is why it is dealing with the less security. Next is risk of loss versus cost of security. So it is concerned with the assets that carry value and risk of loss. And the higher the value, the higher the security cost. Next is these factors can be balanced in a comprehensive organization security policy. Security trade-off. It is a situation that involves losing one quality or aspect of something in return for gaining another quality or aspect. Trade-off meaning is the same. Like we are supposed to lose something in order to gain something. So it could involve losing one quality or aspect of something in return for gaining another quality or aspect. So what is basically security aspect? Speaking about the trade-off between performance and security indicates that both performance and security can be measured, and that to increase one we have to pay in terms of the other. So what is the example of a common security trade-off? Where whether it's trading some additional home security against the inconvenience of having to carry a key around in your pocket and stick it into a door every time you want to get into your house, or trading some security against a particular kind of explosive terrorism on airplanes against the expense and time to search. So, what is the trade off between privacy and security? In many cases, the trade off are to cost or power rather than an inherent conflict with the privacy. So, that is, apparent trade off between security and privacy may really be two trade offs, one between security and money, and the other between privacy and money. Next question is an unexpected success. So this is the evolution of technology, usage and value. In addition, evolution of security problems and various solution to various security problems. And evolution is ever developing. In 1980s, it was the basic connectivity. In 2000, application specific online content is available. Then it could lead to the development of 2010 applications data in the cloud. And 2020, we are dealing with IoT system automation. Everything is automated, that is concerned with robotics. So complete automation. So we don't know what technology has in store for us after IoT. That is a suspense. Now, what can the attackers do? There are certain things that they can do. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping is concerned with passive attackers. A is, A is sending some kind of information to B, and there is a passive attacker that is lying between AB and AB between AB, and there is it could be called C. So he is passively reading the messages what are exchanged between A and B. So it is listening to the communication. Masquerading, that is impersonating someone. Masquerading is concerned with impersonating someone. Next is forgery. Forgery means to say to make duplicate signatures. That is concerned with the digital signature. Masquerade attack is an attack that refers to the fake identity. Masquerade, fake identity to gain unauthorized access to the personal computer information through the legitimate access identification. So, what would be the example with the masquerade? They generally include attackers that impersonate another inside users. Masquerade is concerned with impersonating someone else. So, what is impersonating? Impersonating mean to say fake identity to gain authorized access. So, impersonate another user, while traitors generally include inside attackers that use their own legitimate credentials to attain illegitimate good. For example, identity theft in financial transaction systems is one of the example of masquerade attack. Next is forgery attack. What is basically forgery attack? Or it is called cross-site request forgery. It is an attack that forces an end user to execute unwanted actions on the web application, in which they are currently authenticated. So, with the help of social engineering, such as sending a link via email or that, an attacker may trick the users of the an attacker may trick the users of a web application into executing actions of the attacker's choosing. If the victim is a normal user, a successful CSRF attack can force the user to perform state changing requests like transferring funds, changing their email address, and so forth. If the victim is an administrative account, then CRF can compromise the entire web application. So this is about forgery. Next is trespassers attack. Next is trespasser attack. Trespass. A person commits tortious assault when he engages in any act of such a nature as to excite an apprehension of battery, or I can say the person that comes in three variants assaults, which is to act in such a way that claimant believe that he is about to be attacked. So obtained unauthorized access in that manner. Next is subversion. As the name implies, we are creating the subversion. Mean to say we are modifying the data and messages in transition if we are dealing with the versions here. Destruction. Vandalize or delete important data. Vandalize is concerned with destruction, destructing the important data. Next is disruption, disable or prevent access to the services. Next is infiltration, hide out inside our machine. Hijacking, that is very common term, own and use machines for nefarious purposes. And why they do it? Motivation. There are certain examples that are given for the same. Knowledge driven, recreational, research. It is a hobby or it could be related to research. So that is concerned with the knowledge. Next is issue based, hack, activism, patriotism. Next is antisocial, revenge, destruction. Next is competitive, theft of IP, damage to competitors. Criminal, theft of assets or extortion. Strategic, espionage or state driven or sponsored. So these are the types of motivations that motivates the hacker towards their particular goals, and these goals are given here. If they are knowledge driven, they could be concerned with recreational, it could be their hobby or it could be related to their search. If it is issue based, then activism and patriotism. If it is anti-social, then it is concerned with revenge and vandalism. Next is if it is competitive, then theft of IP or damage to computer. Then is criminal, it is concerned with the theft of assets. If it is strategic, like strategy is followed, then state driven or sponsored. How do they do it? Social engineering attacks. So these are concerned with human beings, social, the weakest links, phishing, password attack, etc., etc. More, you can add more to the same. Domain name server attacks that are concerned with cache poisoning, cookies, corruption, masquerading, address spoofing. Link will be given on which if you click on the link, the information will be sent to the third party. Denial of services attack, various distributed denial of services attack. So these are the attacks that we have already discussed in our classes. The first is phishing. For information such as usernames, passwords, credit card details, other personal information. Forged emails, apparently from legitimate organizations, direct users to forged websites. So this is the example that is given here. You can have a look at the same. Other social engineering, password guessing or cracking. So there are certain things that are associated with same. Hence need for non-guessable passwords. Strong passwords are required. Use of different passwords for different services. Email harvesting and proof of life. That could be concerned with misuse of collected personal information. Spam as a validation tool. In addition, embedded images that turn them off. Unique URLs, don't click on anything. Next is short URLs that are given to you. So we are accustomed to clicking without checking with where we go next. Masquerading example. Address Resolution Protocol, RFC, Rules of Cryptography 826 and in 1982. So used by any TCP IP service to discover the layer 2 address of an IP version 4 address that it wants to reach. So it is the hacking process. IPv4, 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 MAC, Ethernet A, message authentication code in which we are using the authentication scheme here. Ethernet A, Ethernet B, and Ethernet C. Ethernet, who is at IPv4? This is the address that is given here. So this is the process that happens with the help of the spoofing. Again, there is an example that is given to it. IPv4. Ethernet is there. Send IPv4 secure neighbor discovery. So in that manner, it is sending the helping the neighbor so that it could discover the neighbor by using rules for cryptography 3971 in addition 2005 comes in 2005. Address resolution protocol is using the rules for cryptography 826 that was developed in 1982. So this is the procedure in this picture that is to be followed for the same. Attacking the domain name server, it is very common attack. Domain name server, www.apnic.net, domain name server. This is information. This is the thing where it is happened, and that could be between server and the client. So this is the internet where all the processes are, all the thefts are getting happened. Securing websites, secure socket layer certificate. So certificate is provided for the same. Next, DNS security. So how we are supposed to provide the security with the help of the security measures that are being provided here. Misusing IP addresses, announcing something, traffic, blocking the traffic, and announcing something. So this is the global routing table that is being used so that it can route it to the another IP address. Misusing IP addresses again. This is the alternative way. Masquerading again, IP spoofing. ISP internet service provider is there and it is the response that is sent by the server. So it is getting hacked. With the help of pictorial representation, I think it is very easy to learn how the attacks are getting happened. Masquerading again, but in the alternative way. Responses, then responses, but who has respond? He does not know, but he is receiving the response. So he is the malicious user. DOS attack, denial of services attack, amplification. Have a look at the same. Again, same thing is getting happened due to the traffic is blocked. Defeating IP spoofing. This is the process for the same. Network ingress filtering, that is defeating denial of servicing attack which employ IP source address spoofing. Next is distributed attack. Botnet. We have discussed about botnet. So this is the internet service provider and this is the internet in which it is hacking the server. So this is the distributed attack. Botnets for hire, millions of viruses infected computer ready to be deployed by remote control. Here it is the example. So many computers are there. Huge amplification. Target traffic volumes in 100 S of Gbps. This one is the example. Amplification. Just wait. We have done the same. This one is the amplification example. So it is concerned with high volumes of the traffic. Next is motivation. That is various but often extortion requiring payment in BTC. Mitigation, how to remove the same, various approaches and services available. Often bandwidth is the best solution using cloud-based services. Next is security and IPv6. What is the difference between security and IP version 6? So IP security is mandatory in IPv6 implementation, but this does not mean it must be used. There is no difference in various three terms that are associated. Let's have a look at the three terms. Traffic monitoring, that is concerned with sniffing. That is no change without IP security. In addition, application vulnerabilities are there, so there is a no change. Next is rogue devices, viruses, etc. could be there. So it made no difference between the two. Next is there are certain amendments IP security available when needed. For example, routing protocol. In addition, we can scan address space for devices that is much harder. In addition, there are threats that is new expertise required, new implementation, less mature, mistakes will be made. So next is what is the role of security and IoT. We have a long history of things on the internet. So in that sense, there is nothing fundamentally new with the IoT. However, there will be huge increase in the variety of devices and many new vendors will enter the market. Nowadays, it is the I can say view of the market representation of the today's market or today's era. Many vendors are not internet companies. In addition, we are supposed to deal with the challenges like implementation, testing, software upgrades, or UL management. Next is references, that is Internet of Stupid Things that are referred to us by Joe Fuston and Apnick. So this is the internet security ecosystem, the bigger picture nowadays, what is happening. Cyber security, network and information security. Because nowadays more and more cyber attacks are getting performed. So this is the huge and large picture for the cyber security. That is internet security or web security. That is cyber security. So we are supposed to deal with the same. It is the huge problem that is adding more and more problems to the networking. So this is the internet ecosystem in which we are dealing with various entities like users are there, public safety is there. We are supposed to have a look at the same or we are supposed to take care of the same. Rules and regulators are there. Various operators are there. So user is having link with public safety. User is having link with operators. User is having link with softwares. Next is public safety. Public safety is having link with search. Public safety is having link with users. Public safety is having link with regulators. So regulators are having link with public safety. Regulators are having link with search. Regulators are having link with vendors, and regulators are having link with operators. Now operators are concerned with regulators, users, and search. Next is vendors. Vendors are concerned with software, search, and regulator. So this is the internet security ecosystem. Have a look at the same. So what is basically CERT? Indian Computer Emergency Response Team. So what does, because it is concerned with cyber security. So like it can stand for either computer incident response team or less frequently cyber security incident response team. So they CERT and CIRT, they could be used often interchangeably in the form or in the field. So next is Asia Pacific System, that is CERT, that is based on CERT. So again, CERT is Computer Emergency Response Team. In case of any emergency, there is a response team that is there to take care of the things that are getting happened. So it is concerned with coordination, it is concerned with incident response, it is concerned with information sharing, and blah blah blah. So many terms could be associated with the same. So this was, now have a look at the recap. What we have discussed is the internet secure, myths and mysteries, evolutions of security, security concepts and management, examples, developments, IPv6 and IoT. In addition, we have discussed about the internet security ecosystem. So this was all about my today's lecture. Book is given for reference. It is a book by William Stallings. It is available in the college library. You can get it issued from the library and have a look at the same. In addition, 10 MCQs are given for the today's class. Have a look at the same. You are supposed to tick any one answer. 4 choices are given. And at the end of the class, you are supposed to submit me the answers. Thank you. Have a nice day.